Hey guys, welcome back to Triple L Rustic Designs. Today's video is all about epoxy projects and crafted elements silicone molds. Check it out. Good morning guys, welcome back to the channel. As you've probably heard in our previous videos, we are getting ready for our first market. At this point, it's about 6 days away. It's going to be from Friday to Sunday, April 22nd to the 24th, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's at the Plant City Strawberry Festival grounds, and we really hope you guys come out, say hi, and check out all of our products. Aside from all the awesome products we will be selling at the market, we're also going to be doing a special giveaway solely at the Fancy Flea Market. So we're going to be giving away this black walnut bullet casing charcuterie board along with a couple others, and the only way to enter this is to come see us at our booth. The address to the Fancy Flea Market is right here. But you can also find the address and all the other information for the Fancy Flea in the description below. If you have any questions about the Fancy Flea Market or anything Triple L Rustic Designs related, you can email me at zoe@tlrds.com. As you can see behind me, I have 14 crafted elements silicone molds. But before we get into that, I have a special package to open. Triple L Rustic Designs has partnered with Brunt Workwear. Brunt is reinventing the workwear category, starting from the ground up with work boots and apparel. As you guys have probably noticed in the previous videos, I've been wearing small white rain boots that aren't very good for the work we do out here at the shop. So Brunt was nice enough to send me a brand new pair of work boots. These boots are the Brunt Marins. I got a size 6 in women's. These Marins seem to run large, so I would recommend sizing down, as I typically wear a size 6.5, but the 6 fit perfectly. Here at Triple L Rustic Designs, we do a lot of work standing on concrete, so my feet are usually sore at the end of the day. But with these Brunt Marins, they have a triple layer comfort insole that I'm hoping will help my feet not be sore. These Brunt Marins are oil and slip resistant. They have triple layer waterproofing. They're full grain leather with double stitching and pass-through lace hooks with heavy-duty eyelets. If you guys are interested in learning more about Brunt Workwear or ordering yourself a pair of these boots, click the link in the description below this video. Let's get this project started and talk about crafted elements. For almost 2 years, we've been using these ultra-durable, super thick silicone molds from Crafted Elements. Crafted Elements is a leading producer of big silicone molds for woodworkers and resin artists. To put it simply, these molds will save you time and money. Setup is simple. There is nothing to seal and no screws or fasteners to mess with. Demolding is even easier. It takes just seconds to pull out your piece. You can hold wood down in the mold just by using table clamps or hand weights. Plus, the molds are reusable. Over 8,000 makers, woodworkers, and resin artists can't be wrong. Since the Fancy Flea is coming up in 6 days, we need more products. So today, we're going to pour 14 epoxy projects in these Crafted Elements silicone molds. Before we start pouring, let's take a moment and talk about each one of these molds that we'll be using today. The first mold I'm going to talk about is this 8 by 8 by 2 inch deep tray. This mold will make a really cool tray for decorative purposes to hold jewelry, or for your entryway to hold keys, cell phone, that sort of thing. This next mold is an 8 by 4 dog tag. This would be perfect for making something cute for your dog or something military themed. Now we have our 12 by 6 cross. This would be perfect for a decorative wall piece. We have our 4 by 4 coaster mold. This is perfect for making coasters because you can just pour them and then pop them out. You don't have to worry about cutting anything to size. We have these 2 wine caddies right here. This is 11 by 4 wine caddy and the 12 by 3.5. If you've seen in one of our previous videos, we use this wine caddy to make really cool projects. These other molds are our charcuterie boards. We have our fishtail handle right here, the organic handle. We have our bullet casing, which we're super excited to use. And then we have our rectangular ones. This one is a 24 by 12, a 25 by 5, which is perfect for coasters. We have an 18 by 12. We have an 18 by 9. And then we have a 12 by 2 round. For this video, we're going to focus on the silicone molds, but Crafted Elements also does make really nice acrylic templates. This is a template for the organic handle, template for the modern round handle for the charcuterie board. We have a bullet casing template and the wine caddy template. The Crafted Elements line of laser cut acrylic router templates are precision cut templates designed especially for woodworkers. Unless you have access to a CNC machine in your shop, these templates are the easiest, most accurate, and most repeatable way to shape wood and resin pieces into things like charcuterie boards, serving trays, handles, functional art, and more. What's really cool about these acrylic templates is that they are laser cut to fit perfectly inside the matching silicone mold. What that means is I can use this acrylic template to cut out a piece of wood this exact shape and use part of that wood inside the mold and then fill the rest with epoxy, so it's a wood and epoxy project. Look forward to future videos of us using these templates and showing you that process. We looked around the shop for a couple wood pieces to use with these projects, and we found a couple different species. We're going to use black walnut, red oak, maple, and mahogany. That way these projects will be a mixture of wood and epoxy. But before we start pouring the epoxy, we want to make sure we spray this epoxy mold release inside each mold. This will prolong the life of the molds, and with how nice these molds are and how often we use them, we want to make sure that they last for as long as possible. We're going to use our air compressor to spray all the debris out of the molds prior to spraying the mold release in them. When using the mold release, you want to spray it evenly inside the molds. You want to make sure you don't use too little and not too much that it pools. This epoxy mold release is from MG Chemicals. We get it from Amazon, and you can find a link for it in the description below. I sprayed all the molds with the epoxy mold release. Now it's time to put the wood back into the molds. In our previous videos, in all of our previous epoxy projects, we've always used ice epoxy. And we are a distributor of ice epoxy here at the shop, so that's why we mostly use it, and that's also what we sell to our customers. But there have been a couple other companies that have reached out to us and sent us some of their epoxy. So we figured today would be a perfect time to try out the other epoxy companies. The other two brands we're going to try out in this video today is going to be Total Boat and Loggin Epoxy. This Loggin Epoxy came from our friend Jake up in Arkansas. His company is called Loggin Sawmill, but they recently got into the epoxy industry, so they started Loggin Epoxy. We've seen and heard good things about this Loggin Epoxy, so we're looking forward to trying it out in some of the projects today. The next epoxy company is Total Boat. They probably don't need an introduction because they're such a huge company and they make incredible products, so you guys probably already know about them, but we're super excited to try them out here today on some of our projects. We want to give Total Boat a huge shout out because not only did they send us a sample kit of their epoxy, but they sent us a whole package of all of their epoxy products that they have, tabletop epoxy, I mean, you name it. They sent us all this stuff, hats, they sent us epoxy scrapers, they have epoxy stirrers, epoxy measuring cups, and they even sent us some stickers. And we're not a distributor for Total Boat here at the shop, but we are going to add this to our sticker collection. So you've probably noticed this platform that all of our epoxy projects are on right now. This is actually a 4-foot by 8-foot HDPE form that Trey made. If you did not see this video, head back a couple videos and make sure you watch this because it is impressive. And because this is so big and we want to start making bigger products, this form is going to be in a lot of our future videos. So what we started to do is put some stickers on it. As an appreciation to Total Boat for sending us such a great package, we're gonna slap this baby on the front of our HDPE mold. Seriously, Total Boat, thank you so much for sending us such a great package. We're really looking forward to using your epoxy today in some of our projects in this video. As you can see, we have a ton of open space here on our epoxy form, and this epoxy form is going to be used in a lot of our future videos. So if you want to see your company's logo in our future videos, be sure to send us one of your stickers at our mailing address, which is in the description below. It's first come, first serve until we run out of space. All the epoxy products that we're using today are a 2-to-1 mixed ratio, and they're meant for deeper casting epoxy projects, which will be perfect for our projects today. Since this video is focusing on the Crafted Elements silicone molds, I'm not going to go into a step-by-step process on mixing the epoxy, so I'm going to get this epoxy mixed and then we'll get to pouring. So that's going over here. Oh, ow, that's hot. Oh shit, that's hard. Oh, I just broke through it. I'm not really sure what happened, but we let the total boat part A and part B sit for about 5 minutes unmixed. And when I try to mix it, part A on the bottom is completely hard. So hard that we can't even mix it. So as you can see on there on the bottom, we can't even mix that. So part B was still soft, and we can kind of get it going, but it was too hard for part A. So I'm gonna jump over to Ice Epoxy and get that stirred up. I don't think this is an issue with Total Boat. They're a great company. I think I just let it sit a little bit too long before mixing it up, so it just started to harden. That was pretty crazy, and it's really hot to the touch. So I'm gonna just set this to the side and jump on Ice Epoxy right now. Oh, it's melting it.
I need to get it off of there before we get it, but so move that thing. Go good. Get a gloves. And take it
Into the ground.
Yeah. Out, 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 out. Good.
So we poured both the mixture of Old Loggin and Total Boat and set them to the side. And then I was mixing Old Loggin. Once we had that mix, it was about 5 or 7 minutes. And when I went to go mix the Total Boat, and part A was almost completely hardened on the bottom, we were able to mix part B a little bit, but it was smoking and it was super hot to the touch. So we set it to the side. I said, all right, I'm just gonna mix Ice Epoxy for now, and then we'll kind of figure out what to do with this. Well, while mixing Ice Epoxy, we noticed that it started smoking, and the stirrer we were stirring with, red plastic part, looks like it started melting, it was smoking. So we pulled this off the platform it was on, and we brought it over here just in case it started melting the container, and look at that. That's completely hard now. It's really hot to the touch still. It's actually going through these gloves, but that's solid in there. And it's not even completely mixed. You can still see over here, that's all part A on the bottom that's solid that we weren't able to mix. So I'm not sure what happened. I don't think this is an issue with Total Boat, but this has never happened to us before. So if Total Boat or anyone else watching, if you have any suggestions or ideas of why this happened or what could have gone wrong, please drop a comment below, because I'm really curious as to how to prevent this from happening again. I'm gonna leave this here. This is gonna take off Total Boat off the list today of what we're using to make our epoxy products, but I'm gonna head back to Old Loggin and Ice Epoxy and finish these projects up. That's great, that is so hot. I have a feeling the two that we mixed together weren't supposed to be mixed together. I think we just made some serious chemical. Before we get back to the projects, I wanted to show you what we were working with Total Boat. They're both group size A, part 1, part 2, 2-to-1 mix ratio. I don't know if it had anything to do with how long they were on the shelf for, or this poured kind of a yellowish color. I don't know if it had to do with that, but we're not bashing Total Boat at all. They have incredible products, but we're really curious and trying to figure out what happened here. If you know what could have gone wrong or what happened, we followed the directions, please drop a comment below, or Total Boat, if you're watching, please let us know what could have gone wrong here. We want to figure out what happened to this batch of epoxy and we're looking forward to using Total Boat in the future. But right now, we have to get back to our projects. So we just figured out what happened with the Total Boat. This high performance epoxy resin 2-to-1 mix ratio is actually for laminating and not deep pours like it says right on the bottle. We do have a deep pour Total Boat epoxy, and we just, I guess, assumed that this was part of it as well. So this is user error. Like anything when issues go wrong with epoxy, it's usually user error. Again, this is not a Total Boat issue, this is our error. We should have mixed it right away and spread it thin, not let it sit and then want to use it for a deep pour. So definitely our issue. We've learned our lesson, and we definitely won't be doing that again. We have our old Loggin mixture mixed thoroughly, and we have our ice epoxy mixture mixed thoroughly. I added the white color to the old Loggin and then black coloring to the ice epoxy, and now it's time to pour. For these first two epoxy projects, I'm going to be pouring the old Loggin. There's a little bit left of the old Loggin, so I'm going to pour it into one of these coaster molds. We poured some of the ice epoxy into a smaller container, so it's easier for me to pour into the molds. We have all of our epoxy poured in our Crafted Elements silicone molds, and now we need to weigh down the wood pieces. So for this, it's super easy with Crafted Elements silicone molds. You can just use hand weights or something heavy. We're gonna place these HDPE pieces down before the weights because the epoxy does not bond to the HDPE. So you'll see I'm gonna place a couple pieces here, that one there, and here, and we'll put a weight right on top of that, and it's gonna push down that wooden piece. We have all the wood pieces weighed down. This might look a little tacky because we ran out of hand weights because we decided to do 14 projects at once. So we had to find something heavy enough, used a lot of paint cans here. So we'll let these cure for about 2 days and then we'll come back and we'll show you guys how easy it is to pull these epoxy projects out of these Crafted Elements silicone molds. That's gonna do it for this video today. It's been a long day, plus we need to let these projects cure for a couple days, but make sure you keep an eye out for part 2, where we will be demolding each project, and we're gonna show you how easy it is to demold from these Crafted Elements silicone molds. If you're interested in purchasing one of these Crafted Elements silicone molds, make sure you click the link in our description below, and at checkout, use our discount code LLL10. It'll save you some money. Huge thank you to Crafted Elements for your continued partnership. These videos would not be possible without your incredible products and your support. Also, thank you to Loggin Epoxy and Total Boat for sending us those epoxy samples. Sorry, Total Boat, that we screwed it up, but we promise we'll use the proper epoxy in a future video. If you're interested in Loggin Epoxy or Total Boat products, you'll find their links in the description below. But don't forget, we are an ice epoxy distributor and we have a ton of products in stock. If you're interested in purchasing ice epoxy from us, send me an email or click our link in the description below. Lastly, don't forget, we are at the Fancy Flea Market April 22nd through the 24th, where you will find all these products and much more. Please come out, show your support, and check out all our products and enter our giveaway. Once again, if you want your company's logo in our videos, mail us a sticker to the address in the description below. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. If you like this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. If you want to let Trey know how big of an idiot he is for making me use the wrong epoxy, make sure you drop it in the comment section below. And as always, subscribe for future videos. We'll see you in part 2.